Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this episode, we're going to paint a frog with acrylic paints, so let's get started. And let's start with a size 0 spotter brush. And I'm going to take some black paint. Let's carefully put that in the center of the eye. And if you would like to paint along with me, you can just find this sketch linked in the description below. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white area in there. And then we can do the other side. Try to keep those shapes fairly even in size. And then let's take more black paint and let's add it to the little nostrils. And then we can go around the circle here. Try to do a very fine line. Use the tip of your brush. Then I might outline this larger area as well. Okay, let's take that black paint and then we can try to go around the mouth. See if you can do a really thin line there. Okay, and now I'm going to switch to a burnt umber. And I want to get the right consistency here. I'm going to grab some of this darker green, mix it in with the burnt umber. Some of that black is probably still on the brush as well, so that'll make it a darker value. And then I want a really sharp edge, and then see if you can kind of go around some of these little areas of the toes. Okay, so I'm just sort of outlining the shape of arm. And then let's make this little mark here, make that dark, and then we'll outline this. To make this a little easier, you can just kind of go over the areas of the sketch that we have outlined. Okay, and then on the bottom, see if you can outline those toes. It's pretty tricky because you want a really crisp line. So you want the right amount of paint on the end of that brush in order to get these really fine lines. So you might need to add a little bit more water, but then you don't want to add too much water, so it's just that balance that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so then right here where the knee intersects, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow there. Then over here we can put some darker lines to add a little bit of texture. And then around this area, the upper eye, I'm going to do a little bit of shading. And around this part. Okay, so think about kind of creating some form at this point. You can make a shadow over the eye. And then underneath the mouth, so this area underneath here is going to be in quite a bit of shadow. Okay, so basically we're just establishing the dark values here. Okay, so I think that looks good. Let's switch. I'm going to switch to a little bit larger round brush. Let's put in some of these dark green values. So I have the dark green, and let's add some, and you can go ahead and add a little bit of burnt umber into the mix as well, just to try to create a nice shadow color. So you want it to be green, but you want it to be fairly dark. So we'll come around here. Along his back, I can put some of these darker values. Okay, you can put some around the top of the eye. And then underneath the eye, you can put quite a bit of this dark green. And then maybe above this mark. Around the arm would probably be in a lot of shadow, a darker color. We could bring some up here. Then along the leg. Okay, so now we'll switch to a lighter color. I'm going to switch to a size 4 filbert. And we kind of ran out of some of that green, so we're going to have to transfer over to this lighter green, which is okay. I think we have enough of our darker colors in there. So I'm going to let's try to use a little bit of the glazing medium and see if we can get a nice kind of light green glaze going on. And that can help also kind of mix some of these colors that are not completely dried yet. So we get a little bit of a smoother transition between the lighter and the darker colors. Okay, I want a little bit of a lighter color above this part of the eye and then along the bottom as well. And then we can add green to this part. Okay, and I like how this filbert brush gives us some really nice, smooth, round brush strokes. Okay, and then we can add this kind of paint in the arm area. And when you get to the feet, you might want to switch to a detailed brush. I have a 0 round here. You could even put a little bit of the lighter green on top of that darker brown. This brush is giving us a really nice detail. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with this brush, and I have this beautiful gold color. I'm gonna put that in this little spot here. And then I'm gonna add it around the eye. And then I'm going to add a little bit over on this side, the eye in the back. And you can also take it and put it around the nostril as well. Okay, so let's add a little bit of, I'm going to take some yellow paint, mix a little bit of zinc white, and then add a little bit of this yellow along the belly. Just to give a little bit of a variation of color. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the 4 filbert. So let's try to glaze over, kind of do another pass and cover up some of the white spots. When you kind of step back, you can kind of see any white areas. Okay. Okay, and I think I do want to fill in the black of the eye all the way. So we'll just do another layer of black. And let's switch to the size 0 spotter. I'm gonna take some titanium white. That's actually the zinc white. So the titanium white. Okay, so let's add, just gonna add some of this white in here, maybe along the bottom of the mouth. Then under here, okay, and then I might add some over here as well. I can put this in any area that I want a little bit of a highlight. So maybe along his back, on the eye, and then around the face. Just add some highlights. Maybe around the eye, the top. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this mint green color. Let's actually switch brushes. So let's switch back to the 4 filbert and take some of this minty green. I want to use that as kind of another layer of highlight. Okay. So now let's take the 0 spotter again. And we'll take this dark green and the burnt umber. So go ahead and kind of revisit some of your shadows. Try to strengthen any of the dark colors that you might need to bring back into focus. Maybe along the back, you can add a little bit more dark values, add a little texture. Okay, and then with the 4 filbert, I'm going to add some dark black spots. So we'll take the black and then just see if you can add few little speckles and dots. Okay, and then we'll take the zero spotter. And I will take the titanium white. Very carefully, let's add our little dot. And then I'm going to take some burnt umber and let's add some of that around the eye. So in the gold area, you can just kind of put some of that to add a little bit more realism. Okay, and then at this point we could take a little bit of this light green paint and you could go ahead and add like a little branch for him to sort of hold on to. I'm just going to do that fairly light and kind of not too detailed. Okay, so I think we will call this painting complete. I hope you get a chance to paint along with me. Please like and subscribe for more painting tutorials, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!